Good morning to you both. How's it going today?
It's going well. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good to
Morning,
Good
Bonnie.
morning. Good to see you. Congratulations on season two. It is awesome. And Daddy, let's just start with you because, okay, look, Brad is kind of portrayed a little bit of a bad guy. He's got some attitude, things going on. I don't see him like that. I think he's misunderstood. How do you feel about that?
Thank you, Bonnie. I completely agree with you. I play Brad, who's the head of monetization at this video game. In many ways, he's the one who keeps the lights on. So Mythic Quest is this massive game, and his job is to find ways to monetize it. So that, for me, that's just a fun world to inhabit. Brad isn't necessarily concerned with how his words land on people. He's very direct. And in some ways, I wish I was more direct in my real life. And not so wishy-washy in my conversations. Brad just tells it like it is, and it's really fun to play. Real fun to play.
I can imagine. And Jessie, for you to play Joe now, now she's working more with Brad. So I want to ask you, first of all, I think they're kind of the yin and yang to each other. What do you say about that?
I totally agree with you. I think they balance each other out in a really great way. I've been joking that we already know that Joe's addicted to power, and in season 2, we watch her trade the baby aspirin that is David Brittlesby for the hard stuff, which she finds in Brad Bakshi. And I think the two of them just explode in this really fascinating, evil kind of way. And it's really fun to watch Joe learn from Brad and slowly figure out how to outrank him if possible, and watching her struggle with figuring out how close to the sun she really can fly.
Yeah. So Danny, tell me a little bit about working more closely with Jessie. And I want to know, you guys have fantastic scripts. There's no question about it. Is there any ad-libbing going on?
There is. I would say it starts with the writing. I think our show is written so well. Megan Gans and Rob and David, the whole team, have written such a great season, and they've provided such a great foundation for all of our characters. Especially in season 1, they've really tried to carve out these specific points of view. So that way in season 2, we come back, it's just fun to bounce off each other. Jessie's so funny in season 1, just watching her work. We had this one scene, actually, a brief scene where we talked about our mutual love of predator prey videos. And I think that led to this whole, we should put these two predators, ultimate sharks, together and see who becomes the ultimate shark in the office. So that to me was super fun. We get to do a lot of walk and talks in season 2. Working with Jessie is so joyful. She's a natural collaborator. I love two-person comedy, and it's just really fun to bounce off each other in all these different situations. I just know we're going to have fun, and I kind of don't know what's going to happen next to me with Jessie, which is really exciting when you're working in a scene.
And Jessie, for you, I want to ask both of you this, but are you now like an accomplished video game player, or could you care less in real life?
Well, what's funny is a year ago we were doing all these interviews and people would ask me what games I play, and I always felt like, oh, I should have spent more time playing games before we started promoting this show. So in the interim, I have played a lot more video games, but I got to be honest, the mobile games, they just keep sucking me back in. I tried to play Ghost of Tsushima. It's great. It's a little hard.
Yeah.
But Tetris, I can play Tetris for hours, and I hadn't realized just how much time I spent playing these mobile games until my phone started doing the screen time app, and now I realize it's hours that I can spend playing these, organizational games on my phone.
Yeah. And Danny, what about for you? And do your kids play games on your phone?
Oh yeah. So my son is a huge gamer. I hear him yelling all the time downstairs with his friends, and it's been over the last year. It's been a way for him to socialize with his buddies.
Right.
So they're playing Rocket League. They play a lot of that game, and which is this soccer with cars, which I think is amazing. So it's really fun to watch. But now I'm like watching him play, and I'm like, you guys getting any new avatars in there? I'm like turning into Brad watching them play. Like I'm researching my son and his friends, trying to be like, what are they into? So I could look for the angles there. But I play Breath of the Wild a lot on the Switch. I love Zelda. I'm actually not a huge gamer, but I love that world, and that's been really fun for me to play. Thankfully, my character, Brad, when I was talking to Megan initially about playing Brad, she said he's quite possibly the only one at the company who hasn't played the game,
Right.
which is really kind of fun for me because, then I don't have to worry too much about getting too much into the creative aspects of the game. So I do play it from time to time just as a release.
Yeah. Jesse, what's the biggest aha moment you've had learning about the gaming industry?
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, for me, it's just been fascinating learning more about how much representation we need from women and specifically women of color in this industry. The statistics are staggering, and so I've been trying to team up with Black Girls Code to try to create more opportunities for young women of color, specifically Black girls, to get interested in coding and in being drawn towards these positions within these video game companies. So that's been something I've definitely had my eyes open to, and something I'm grateful this job brought to my awareness.
That's amazing. That's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. And Danny, I cannot leave today without asking about Community because I was pretty obsessed with that show. I never missed it from when it originally aired. I need more of Troy and Abed in the morning. And Yvette Nicole Brown has said that there could possibly be a reunion movie. What do you say?
I will agree that there could possibly be a movie. I think you could quote me on there could possibly potentially be a movie sometime maybe in the future. We're always hopeful for that. I think, it would fulfill the prophecy of 6 seasons in a movie. I had so much fun working on that show, and it's really nice to see that show kind of take on a second life right now. Being on Netflix, it's had this sort of resurgence, and people come up to me still and are like, "Are you doing another season of Community?" Thinking that we're still filming it, and it's been a little time, but it's nice to know that it's still alive out there. And I think much like this show too, like Mythic Quest, I think there's just such a yearning for this sort of like office workplace
Yeah.
comedy, that lightness and bringing this sort of escapist sort of feel, but also like being honest in moments and having these really great grounded characters. I think there's such a need for that, and I'm just happy to be part of that. And it's anytime somebody says Troy Nobbin in the morning to me, or I'm just thrilled. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist.
All good, all good.
You guys are a delight. Thank you so much for your time today. I love this series and keep up the good work. It's really a lot of fun and it's nice to be able to smile at something. So thank you for that.